couple things that we want to do. In the new plant, they have the floor laid out, like for the laid out where the walls are going to be and stuff like that. So, Pat, you guys in the tour room want to go over now? Now's a good time, so you can physically see what the space is to get a conceptual idea. And where's Marty Johnson out here? No. All right. Also, I want to get the material handlers over to see the cleaning room. So we're going to start taking trips this week. Take over there so we can see the new cleaning room, so we can make sure that start thinking about tools we want in there, how we want to hang things. So we'll start making some trips over there. Okay. Also, remind all the material handlers there's a meeting on Monday at 3 o'clock. Right, Julie? Julie, is it 3 o'clock? All right. So make sure they're at the meeting at 3. Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right, so we're talking about lessons. Another key reason we taught the team members to stop and wait is to highlight problems or areas for improvement. If they are getting to the red line ahead of the time, that means that they are finishing the prior car in less than 60 seconds, so there is extra time in the process. If there is extra time in the process, we want to look at how to reduce even more waste and then work as a group to consolidate all the extra time from all the processes to reduce the number of operations in the group. We were able to explain this to all the team members, trying in the purpose of a long-term mutual prosperity and the ability to reach this through providing the highest quality car at the lowest possible cost in the shortest amount of time, right down to following standardized work and waiting at the red line. This explanation worked for all my team members except one. I observed him working ahead of the red line with sweat pouring from his forehead because he was working so hard. I asked the team leader to take his place and we could talk in the break area. When I asked him why he was working ahead of the red line, he explained he didn't want to fall behind and was trying really hard. Because of the knowledge the trainer gave me and the fact that they had me actually write up the initial standardized worksheets, I was able to show him how all the parts were set up in the parts rack according to the red line, as well as all the tools. I was able to show him first on paper and then at the process that if he waited at the red line and then followed standardized work, his walking distance and therefore time was reduced because it was timed according to the red line, and he would be right in the next part as he finished the prior one. By working ahead of the red line, he was adding two or three steps each time he went to the floor rack. We timed his walking 2 or 3 steps each. We timed his walking when he jumped the red line, and it actually added 5 seconds to the time to his 60-second job. By trying his hardest not to get behind the jumping the red line, he was only adding to the problem. When he started from the red line with 5 less seconds walking, he had no problem keeping up on his job. From that day on, I never saw him go past the red line again. I was beginning to understand why Toyota had me learn all the processes in my group and why I actually wrote out the standardized work. It was not my job to be the boss and to order my team members to follow standardized work. It was my job to be a teacher and teach them why it was important to do so and to follow up until each person understood the reason why. Okay? Again, you can't fix a problem until we know what the standard is, so otherwise it's an opinion. Again, we talked about a good example of that today. We said I had 3 people talking about tear down the molds. Only 3 people is how to take a mold out and the process about it. There's 3 completely different ideas of how it should be done. Okay? And that's the simplest part of it, right? So we know that's more complicated once we get into setup and starting a job. So we're working on the board over there, getting everyone's ideas. Everyone there understood somebody's going to change or understand that we need to change it and figure out which way is the best way to do it. So then we have a standard and we can be the best at what we're doing at that point, then we move the best at the next step. So we got to be good at what we're doing first before we just throw everything at it. So it was a really good meeting. So we're bringing that out later this week.